Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're gonna try to do a portrait on a dark garment. So let's see how bright we can get this, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started. The brightness and the hue and the vibrance of that color on your final piece on a black garment, either be a jacket, sweater, or shirt, will be determined on how much white base you put on there. Now, if you put way too much white or any kind of base, you'll eventually start clogging up the fabric. And then once you go ahead and apply your actual paint, your color, you'll have kind of like spots where it's thicker or more filled in within the fabric, and then other parts are not. So you'll get a difference in contrast, not only in the color but in the texture as well. So you got to keep that in mind as well. Either you go full on force and really cake on the white base, which I don't really recommend because eventually it starts cracking, or it may come off, or it's just way too much paint. Usually what I like to do is use the white base as a as kind of like a starting point for me to sketch out the painting itself. At this stage, I want to know where my shadows and my highlights are. This is a good way to continue finding out and experimenting and adjusting your features on the face. You are adding, the white base, the fabric is absorbing that, it's drying, and then you're applying another layer and another layer and another layer. So you have that option to kind of like start morphing and defining the features on your project. By using the white base to have your different shadows and highlights, it also helps you, or helps the color give it more depth. So then instead of having one basic skin color, you've already created some sort of depth behind it. So when you apply that skin color, it tends to give it more of a depth. And you can obviously enhance that by adding more black, more white, and of course adding additional shades of that skin color, like the browns and stuff like that. You can even go even further and add kind of like a third lighting effect, where like the side of the face gets hit with like a red color, and then the other side gets hit with, like, let's say, a purple and stuff like that. So there's a lot of techniques that you can use to make it more hyper realistic. Obviously, the texture of the fabric will determine how bright you can make your colors. If you're working on a coarse item, something crochet, obviously you're not going to have that much surface to work with, so it's going to be really light. If you're working on leather, obviously it's more condensed. You'll be able to have more, hue and brightness on your color because it's more solid. So it really depends, obviously the color of the item. But overall, if you put a white base, nice white base, it should give you a good foundation for you to add your colors. And if you even want them more bright, you might want to consider using like translucent or like fluorescent type of colors. That'll give you like an extreme brightness to your project. Now the big question of today's video is, can you do a hyper realistic portrait on a jacket? And the answer is yes, you can. You will be limited to the texture of the material of the fabric, but what you can do is start your project using the airbrush, apply your good base, and then your multiple layers of color. I would finish it off with pressing the acrylic, on a press. This way all your acrylic kind of melts together, all the fabric fibers kind of mash together into the acrylic, and now you have a really, really good base to start adding extreme details if you want a hyper realistic portrait. So I would then start using just a regular brush and going in there and spending your hours and hours in adding details to that base that you've already created. So this is a good way to kind of finish it quickly, have a good base, and on top of that, take the time to add those details that you want to make this a hyper realistic portrait. So if you want to have more detail applied to your project, I suggest to always look into your equipment, making sure your needles are nice and new, or at least kind of sand it down to you can get good detail, and that your tip is not obviously old. It tends to they tend to kind of break because the metal gets thinned out and starts opening up. You're putting the needle in and out, so it starts stretching and warping at the same time. So if you're looking to do a lot of detail, I suggest for you to use a brand new needle and a tip. This way you can get as much detail as you can, and of course you can always use more finer airbrushes, like the one with the bottle on the top. At that point it's good to change from the gravity feed, I'm sorry, to a bottom feed into a gravity feed. So that will definitely, make your portrait more hyper realistic. Well guys, that's gonna be it for this video. It's a very short video. Hopefully you guys enjoy and got some information out of it, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take it easy for now. Bye bye.